Well, hello, my friends. I am here with Major Greg Thompson, the Divisional Commander of the Salvation Army. Um, Major Thompson, thank you so much for joining me again. We talked a few months ago, but here we are.
We had a fun talk then. Let's have another fun talk.
I know. I know. So much going on at the Salvation Army, and really hitting the holidays. They're just they're here. So, but let's just talk a little bit about the Salvation Army and who do you serve?
We make it our mission to serve the most marginalized in a community. And I think we do that well. Usually the folks who can't find service somewhere else are finding it with the Salvation Army. And we're doing our best to not only meet housing needs of veterans and those of senior citizens, but also helping people with early Head Start. And we have some housing for families. We do recreational programs across the community. We have family activities in 3 different other community centers. And we have a great number of people here who are continuing the work of the Salvation Army, even in the midst of all of this COVID thing. And I think that's what I've been most blessed by over the last few months, is that I work with a great group of people who see the mission of the Salvation Army and want to be a part of that mission and then do it well every single day, even in the midst of, well, we can't do it the way we did. How can we do it now and do it safely? We were just in a meeting this morning, and some folks gave me a whole plan on our Turkey Fest distribution. And I said, I just want to know, I know you guys got it, but just tell me what it is. They had the entire safety plan all worked out to be able to stay safe with both the folks who help us with the meal, to those who deliver, to those who receive. And it's like we are working to just keep moving, even though we have to do things differently. And I think that's what's been the best part of this whole thing has been for us, for me especially personally.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so wonderful, and it's so important. And again, I mean, I think we had a conversation, April, May, I can't remember. It was back in the spring when talked about when COVID first hit, kind of what was going on. And now here we are getting ready for the holidays, and the Salvation Army, known for your Red Kettle campaign, the Tree of Lights campaign, and you're not doing it. It's just going to look a little bit different. So let's start with the Red Kettle campaign. Okay. Or which one do you want to start with?
No, let's start with Red Kettle. That's fine.
Okay.
So the cool part about the Red Kettle campaign is that I will tell you, in June and July, we were worried. There's an enormous amount of exposure and money that comes into us from the Red Kettle campaign that actually helps us continue our services throughout the year. Especially here in Omaha. And you're kind of going, are they going to let us do this? Is this COVID going to really break us all down? And I will tell you, our partners have come right alongside of us. Walmart, Hy-Vee, Baker's, Walgreens, all of those places where you would normally see Nebraska Furniture Mart, all of them have come through and said, you know what, we know this is going to be a tough year, but we've got customers coming in and we want them to still see the Red Kettle. And we're like, oh, thank you so much. So they've been very, very generous. So the interesting part of that is you may not see much difference. Except for you will see you won't see it, but we will. You'll see the things you will see will be a masked bell ringer that will be masking airtime. They will step back from the kettle if someone approaches and just say thank you from afar. We will do cleaning measures throughout every day in regards to those kettles. So those are the behind the scene things that you may not see. But we're doing everything we can to make that exactly the same. And I will tell you, we're estimating 155% increase in services needed this Christmas.
Wow.
So we really want to have people be conscious of that the money they give us will help toward that, but also help toward the ongoing COVID crisis. I mean, if you haven't been affected by someone who's lost a job, I don't know who you are at this point. Because even in Omaha, I think of CHI Center and the La Vista Convention Center. Those folks have been laying off people left and right because there are just no conventions happening.
Right.
So I think we're seeing, and we're ending up with folks coming to us now, even now, for the first time and saying, I've never had to do this before.
Wow.
They're in that place where they have to ask for some assistance. And we want to do that graciously and and thinking most about them and how we can be of service to them without making them uncomfortable at this time.
Yeah, which I think as I hear you say this, for me, I mean, I'm always, I always put money in the kettles, but just for my perspective, it's like, okay, it's even more important for me to be mindful of that. And I always set aside a fund, a red kettle fund that I just have in my purse, and just, it's hard for me to go buy a red kettle and not put something in there.
I know. Well, imagine me. I've got to have a set of dollars on me all the time now, because everywhere I go, there's the kettle, and I got to put something in. So I'm with you. Now the interesting part too is this year we will have Apple Pay and Google Pay technology in every single kettle stand, so everybody can do it, even contactless there if they'd like to.
Okay, and again, that's so important, and I'm so glad to hear that you're making adjustments on how to do it, but there are going to be people still out there. And I mean, you can easily social distance yourself by having that presence and then allowing people, because it is a part of the holiday spirit. I mean, the community spirit around the holidays. So, we'll pop back over to that again, but let's talk about the Tree of Lights campaign, because that's a big thing. And I know that's different this year.
Well, yes. Well, we normally have a Tree of Lights kickoff at the American National Bank, and have a big party and have all kinds of people there, and Santa's there, and there's a reindeer. Reindeers are smelly, by the way, but there's a reindeer there. There's all kinds of sandwiches and things, but we're like, we really cannot do that this year, so it's going to be a very small virtual event. We aren't inviting the public. We're still going to do it. It's probably going to end up on the news. But we won't have a big crowd or anything. It'll be a very, very small event. But that kickoff day on the 13th is the day that kettles actually end up in the stores, in some stores at that point. So that those two coordinate still every time. But the Tree of Lights campaign is beyond just the kettles as well. It's all kinds of donations. This is one of our largest fundraising seasons, and there are two ways that some people can help if they're uncomfortable going to helping us, or going to a kettle. They can go to our Facebook page at Sal Army Omaha, and for information about the event and the kickoff, and to donate even there. You can go to salarmyomaha.org, and there's a place you can donate there, and any money donated online comes right back to Omaha and stays right here in the metro area. There's also, we've made opportunity for people to do things to feel like they've done a red kettle. We've got a huge, what we call a massive an omaharedkettle.org. omaharedkettle.org. If you want to donate to the Red Kettle campaign, you can go there. Or you actually we have an opportunity for people to go to fundraiseforgood.org. That's fundraiseforgood.org. If you go there, you can actually set up your own personal Red Kettle online service for yourself. You can put it on all of your social media from there and raise some money for the Salvation Army through that as well.
I like that because and a lot of it too, as we're looking, and we're in a different time right now, and a lot of people potentially aren't even going to the stores like they typically would have done a year ago over the holiday season. And really getting that information out there that if you're not going into the store, or you've got people shopping for you, or whatever, that you can go online and give in so many different ways. Because let's just talk a little bit, like, what is this money? Give us some like bullet points of how is this money utilized throughout the year?
The money is utilized for food, for housing, for utility assistance, for case management services, for safety programs for children, getting them off the streets into recreational programs, all kinds of different things like that, even down to assisting our folks who are in our senior high rise with just parties or now we can't really do parties.
I know.
Some kind of event that would say you're still loved and you're cared for, even though you're in a residence because normally the people we have in our senior residence, they are folks who are very low income and may or may not have family available to them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so important. Okay, so Okay, let's talk about this. I'm looking at my, my
Okay.
bullet points.
Yep, go for it.
People volunteering. I mean, you still
Okay.
need volunteers.
Right. So we want people to know that everything we've done in the past is still happening today, even though we're in COVID. We're just doing it differently. One of the things we really need right now is drivers for our Turkey Fest event, which takes a warm meal to a shut-in on Thanksgiving Day. So we're
Okay.
still looking for drivers there, but we need people to. I'm sorry. I just got sorry if you heard that. That was somebody tried
No
to call me
worries.
in the
It's
team.
Zoom.
Sorry.
No worries.
Here we are, this
Yep.
electronic world.
Okay,
We
so
also,
Turkey Fest, you need drivers.
yep, we need drivers for Turkey Fest and some other things. We need people for that. We also need people to help us with sorting toys that we get from the Angel Tree program. We've got
Okay.
a lot of companies who are still doing that tangible way to buy a gift and give things to people. And we'll need people for distributions. Our distributions are going to look a little differently right now in regards to the toys that we collect. Again, we're working on ways to do a contactless delivery, and so we're figuring that out. And it'll be a little different. We normally let people shop, but this isn't the year to do that. So we're going to do it contactless. But we'll still need people to help direct traffic, to help bring toys out to people, to do things like that. And they can donate. They can do that by calling 898-6000 or going to salarmyomaha.org and click on the volunteer tab.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to encourage everybody. You've got, and I know all this information is coming across the bottom of the screen. And then we'll have stuff on our website. Go to your website. There's lots of ways to give back and be a part of this holiday season that contributes to the lives of others, because the need doesn't stop. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me today. And I'm going to look at that Turkey Fest driving, signing up to do that. So
go for it.
I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. But again, thank you so much for joining me today, Major Thompson. An important time of year for so many in need, and there's a lot more people in need this year. So thank you
so much, Andy. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.